All right, everyone. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jason Levine, and it's so nice to be back here on the Masterclass on Adobe Live, post-Max, looking and feeling slightly like it, I might add. Still kind of retooling some things here in the studio after all the stuff we had to shoot and do, so you'll notice some of the lighting and things are off. And sorry for cutting into Paul's stream a moment ago. Little just brief gotcha there. So, but hey, that's the benefit of a live. Well, whatever. Anyway, you can see my brain is kind of very post-Max, but nonetheless, I thought today we would cover some of the beta things, and primarily most of what I showed. If you watch the Max keynote. Actually, most of the features were beta. Now, there's quite a few things, however, in, for instance, Premiere Rush that we didn't get to show, some of which are actually in the public current release on mobile, some of which is on the desktop. I'm going to kind of show you all of it on the desktop in the beta version. Want to reiterate, too, and I'll show you in just a moment, that for any Creative Cloud member, you have access to all of the beta video applications. And I think Illustrator now also has like a public beta that's accessible to everybody. Not 100% sure on that. But all the video apps are publicly accessible in beta to every CC member. So if you feel like accessing and trying out some of the things that I'm going to show you today, you can go ahead and do that. They can coexist side by side. They're designed to be installed side by side like that. So you can do that if you so desire. I'm also working under Windows today. Many of you will be happy to know, and have been for the last couple of months on these new features. So we've got a lot of, if you looked at some of the what's new feature notes, a lot of accelerated export and import with H.264 and H.265 on Windows and Mac, not just with NVIDIA cards, but AMDs will see the enhanced export speeds. I'm going to show you something here called Quick Export, which is in beta, coming soon. And this is a super cool feature. Anyway, lots of stuff to do, lots of stuff to show. So as always, just a couple of quick shout outs. I see we've got David Kabinski. So amazing that we got to see you live. Howdy, howdy. How you doing, man? Nice to see you. Mari Mutu, hello. Umacorn, good evening. Wade and Michelle and Sam. I wish you had a room like that. Yes, come over anytime. Lindsay, Mallory, how's it going? They do not. This is all my stuff from owning studios for many, many years. And yes, I clean them. And it takes hours. We've got Yarin. All right. And Stasia. Hello. All right. And over here, let's go to the other YouTubes. I've got Ricardo, Quinn, Pierre-Julien, and Mary. Want to remind you, too, that if you want to follow the conversation, it is happening. I'm really following the chat over at be.net, be.net/Adobe Live. So if you want me to answer questions and things, I'll be reading it live as I go along. That's where we are. And we're also on Twitter, Periscope. What's up, Mel? Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and switch over. And I'm actually going to, here, wait a second. I'm in Premiere at the moment, but I think we're going to start in Rush because there's quite a few cool things in Rush, and this stuff is worth pointing out. Okay, so again, for those of you unfamiliar, maybe you haven't really played around with Rush much. This could be the whole hour, by the way. There's going to be a lot of this. If you haven't played around with Rush a lot, you should, especially if you're already using Creative Cloud. If nothing else, you should have it on your phone, Android or iPhone, or your iPad, because it's a really great way, if nothing else, to assemble the images and the videos that you've already shot. You can even use its native camera on the mobile device to shoot. And then it's like, if you've ever used something like Filmic Pro on the iPhone, you have full access to all parameters. So frame rate, shutter speed, aperture, exposure bias. I mean, you can do all these things in the native Premiere Rush camera, which make it super, super useful. And frankly, for my money, just more feature-filled as opposed to just shooting with the native iPhone camera, which is also great. And truthfully, 95% of what I'm shooting is usually in that if it's on the phone. But the Rush camera is amazing, and it's really worth pointing out. Okay, so in the keynote, I showed pan and zoom. Now, this is available in the commercial release that came out just a few days ago. You can access this. Just show you this again real quickly. So again, these are just images that I shot when I went to Alaska last year. And this is something that people have been asking for forever. It's actually something that we used to have in the form of what was it called? Encore DVD. I'm really struggling today. But as it goes, you can basically enable pan and zoom on an image, and it will analyze that image and then create some dynamic motion on the image. Now, I just updated this beta. It's doing something weird. So again, this is in the commercial release. It works awesome. You saw it in the keynote. It's great. All right. Now, what you may not have seen. Now, this is also commercially available. It's in the release version. I'm in the beta because there's something else I want to show you. But in the release version, this is awesome. This is something that people have been asking for. You're going to find it under the new effects, the effects panel here. So this is a new section, all right, with a new icon, little lightning bolt sort of icon there. But what you're going to notice now is that we have a lot of transitions. Now, these are just standard video transitions, not graphical ones. We'll get to those in just a second. But this was a feature request from users all over the world, just wanting more standard transitions, particularly, if you're building stuff for social, for YouTube, for Instagram stories. You always see these standard, whether you like them or not, wipe to the left, wipe to the right, push in, push out, zoom, slide to the left, slide to the right, all of these things. These are very standard transitions. So you now have access to all of these inside of Rush. So just to give you an idea, at the top, of course, we have the standard 4 that were there before. So cross dissolve, dip to black, and dip to white. Let's just go ahead and drag a couple of these across some of my images here. All right, so we got a wipe left there. Let's do a wipe right, just because. And this is a whip left, not to be confused with wipe. Wipe and whip. This is doing some weird stuff to me today. I don't know what's happening here. Let's see, let's get whip on here. It's like showing it to me after the fact. I don't know why that is. Some sliding. All right. Ooh, those are nice. I really like that. Is that the whip one? Which is that? Yes, whip left. Really super common. All right, so let's check these out. So we've just got some slides, some wipes. That whip is cool. Oh, those are great. Now there's like entire plugin packs, that do this sort of thing. And if you click on these, you can adjust the duration of the wipe. So if you want it faster, right? It works just like in Premiere. You just click on the transition and do it. With something like this whip, if it's too slow, it just looks weird. But it does kind of a nice, you can see here, it's not, but it looks like sort of a pseudo blended, like a pixel blend from one image to the next. So this is great. I really, give me this in Premiere. Save me from buying plugin packs. So we're not going to go through all of them, but just to point out that in the release version, accessible today, you will have access to all of these transitions. Now, something else that you may have noticed if you tried Rush on mobile is that we actually have a new content library browser. So the way that you access audio, and by the way, there's now over 1,000 audio tracks in Rush. Previously, I think there were 20 or 30. If you want to access audio that you can use for your projects, if you want to access all of the motion graphics templates. Now, previously, these were all accessible over here, okay, on this right-hand side. They're not anymore, though, in the beta. Now, again, if you're on mobile, you're going to be able to access all of this. But in the beta desktop application, you now access your audio, as well as all of your motion graphics templates, which include things like titles and graphical transitions and more, via the Add Media button over here. So this is really cool. And again, this is why I invite you to check out. If you've got it on mobile, you already have this in the release version. But if you want to try this on the desktop, all of this is available in the desktop beta. Go ahead and click the plus sign here, and you'll see again this new icon for graphics. So if we go into graphics, You're going to see at the top here, it says Browse All. And then if we click the down arrow here, we've got it nicely organized between titles, transition graphics, overlays, and saved. I guess those are like favorited ones. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't really played much around with it since it's just come into the application. But just to first and foremost kind of show you, so right away, I mean, it just looks nice and clean. You know, if you go to more, it allows you to see more of them. Again, just very organized. Wow. And there's always new ones coming in. So as I'm looking like this retro wave one here, bunch of new stuff. Sports night. Wow, these look pretty advanced actually. This one looks cool. Slash title. I actually really like that. Curious about that. How that looks. Let's see how that looks. I'm going to drag it right in here. All right. So there's some of your titles. Let's wind back here and see what this looks like. Okay, pretty simple. A little bit of opacity shift there. All right, and just kind of a fade on, but that's nice. I like that. Okay, and then again, we can just click inside of here. You've got font selection, which is nice. Again, this being all of your Adobe fonts. Okay, we can even just look at Adobe fonts if we want. All right, very cool. Style, size, opacity, character spacing, line spacing, baseline shift. All right, what else have we got here? Shape, just color for the shape. Okay, so you can adjust color, outline, and shadow. All right, and for the title, font, and style. Nice. Yeah. So anyway, again, these are just super cool. The organization is great. We go to transition graphics. You know, this is in lieu of using some of those standard video transitions. Now they're just better organized. This tricolor wipe left, I've used this like 1,000 times with my young son. He loves that one when editing in Rush. But these are great. Ooh, this is a nice one here. Rainbow bars transition. Why not? Let's stick that over here and see what that looks like. Circle pop. That one's been in there for a while. Okay. So these are all just different graphical transitional elements. Geometric shapes. Just really cool. You know, maybe not your particular taste, but that's okay. You know, make your own. And then, of course, all of your overlays. Now, this is key for social publishing because, again, this is going to have all of your subscribe buttons, like buttons, you know, notification bells. You can see that here. All right. You know, standard YouTube play button there, or I should say YouTube-esque. Obviously, that's, you know, whoever made that, it's not like sanctioned by YouTube. Like buttons, you know, a variety of those. Okay. So all of this is now accessible through here. Now, if we go all the way back out again, I kind of like how this is organized. If we do browse audio, okay, so now you're going to see this is where you now have access to these 1,000 tracks. I believe we licensed these from Splice. If you use a lot of online music, you may know those. And there are now over 1,000. So just kind of scrolling down the list here. And if I were to wind back and let's see, hip hop, synth, jazz. Sure, let's hear what that sounds like. I can preview it from here. Is this previewing? Oh, I don't even know if I have my sound output on here. Hold on, let me see. Where is this going out of? The wrong one. Here we go. All right, so hip hop, synth, jazz. All right, maybe not what I would have chosen. How about lo-fi hip hop raindrops? Sure. Just gonna add it to our project here. Slash title. I don't even change what it says. I love that. Oh, I forgot about our rainbow graphic. Here it comes. Nice. I mean, again, gosh, I love this. I love these. I just love these simple geometric shape transitions. I don't know if any of you watch, if you ever heard of Colin's Key. I'm sure there's some. Again, my younger son watches this. I often watch this with him. Last night we were watching them make giant candy bars. I don't know, it was crazy. Anyway, I've noticed they use a lot of these style transitions, and they're just fun. I don't know. Can you manipulate them in any way? Sure. Now listen, Kyle, good question. So as I showed you, so when you click on the actual motion graphic in question, over here in your, this is kind of your equivalent of like a properties panel for XD or something else. Once you click on it, it's going to show you all of the things that you have access to. So in the case of this, now this is just a graphical transition with 6 layers. What you could do is you can change shape, color, outline, and shadow for each of those different layers, right? Whereas in the slash title, so obviously you can change the text, right? So you can type whatever text you want in there, all right? All right. And then you have access to, changing the font. And then you have access to changing the shape and the shape color and the outline, et cetera, et cetera. And then in each of those you have, again, character spacing and line spacing and, baseline shifting and other things like that. So all of this stuff is different for each different motion graphics template. Some will have an enormous amount of editability, some less so. It just depends on the nature of the graphic. And then, of course, if you go into something like Premiere, where it can access After Effects created motion graphics templates, there you can have, there are some that are literally dozens of parameters, especially when you look at stuff that has 3D and 3D cameras and lighting in it. The authors will give you access to, lighting and shadows and light diffusion and position and all kinds of things. So it just depends, but they're very, very cool. And yes, those audio tracks are all okay to upload to YouTube. All right. Mallory, Rush is such a great program for social. I don't hear many marketers using it though. I love it. Well, that's wonderful to hear. And yes, more should be. And I think it's just an awareness thing. Look, it's still pretty new. It's still pretty in its infancy in terms of how long it's been around. So we just need to keep spreading the word. But I think with a lot of these new tracks too, let's see, Boom Bap Neon, what does that sound like? Okay, that's my favorite. Hey, Desiree. Hello, Silvestri. There's just tons of good stuff in here, and we make it so easy to create and so easy to share. It's really, really wonderful. So I do invite people, of course, to check out Rush. Okay, so that's the new content library. So again, on mobile, you'll have access to all of this as it is. On desktop, in the release version, you have access to all the transitions. In the beta, you can also access the transitions. You can also access all of the newly styled content library for motion graphics and the audio. It's also worth pointing out, I think all the audio stuff is already in the release desktop version. It's just part of, we're trying to be agile and release so many things as they're done, so it's not exactly the same on all the platforms at this very moment. But super cool. All right. Mallory Durrett, Ken Burns. Yes, exactly. That's what it is. All right, Laura Staneva, is there a reverse option or is Adobe planning on implementing such feature? Oh yes, in terms of the pan and zoom movement. Yes, so right now, your only option is on. And it does its own analysis to figure out if it's going to push or zoom out or pan left, right, or a combination thereof. Can't give you a date, but yes, we are working on having the ability for you to not only switch direction in, out, left, right, or whatever. There will be parameters. They're just not there yet. Again, so this is kind of V1, just to get it in there, get it implemented. But yes, that will definitely be coming. All right. All right. A lot of Rush puns I'm seeing here. Glenn Mayberg, how's it going from South Africa? Nice to see you. All right. Ann Jeanette, how are you? Paolo Andre. Okay. Sam G, how's it going? Okay. Those slow chill jams. Yeah, there's lots of those on here apparently. Okay, so let's segue over to Premiere and talk a little bit about speech to text. Okay. So this is quite possibly one of the coolest things I think that we've ever done, in terms of something that can really fundamentally change. It's not changing the way you work per se. I mean, unless you were doing captions or subtitling before, which was a pretty heavy process. Now we're going to make it easier for you. And again, this is all beta and part of, so, and again, to clarify, so the subtitling and captioning stuff is in the public beta. The transcription part of this, which I'm going to focus on now, and I'm going to show you this live, that actually you have to sign up to get early access to. So I'll be sure to put that URL back here. In fact, here, wait a minute. I can probably post it. Hold on. I can probably post it in the Behance chat. Bear with me for a second. I'll do that when I'm processing. But that's really the most interesting part, because that basically keeps all of the transcription and caption creation right inside Premiere. All right. Now the plan is, this may change when it releases, to have a dozen languages. Currently in this beta, I think there's about 8. But it's pretty amazing, and I thought we would just kind of go through this, and I'll just show you the process live of how this works. And we're going to try it on a couple different examples. I've been getting a lot of questions about what are the limitations of how good it transcribes. If you've done anything with transcription in the last decade, I mean, this is the same for voice too. You know, the technology has just made leaps. I mean, I can remember, I think I've talked about this on stream. If anybody used to watch the Osbournes, anybody watch the Osbournes back in the day? Jürgen Kaiser, you applied as an early adopter for transcription. Yes, awesome. Yeah, can't wait. Aunt Pruitt, I can't wait to see how well the transcription works with my southern drawl. Yeah, so here's the thing, right? 10 years ago, you can go back further than that, but I'm just thinking about 10 years ago or so, if anybody watched that actually the Aussie thing could be even 15 years ago. My point is, voice recognition a decade ago was hopeless, right? And for one of the reasons, like Ant just said, you know, if you had any kind of accent, and they even had separate voice algorithms for, you know, like American English, UK English, Australia. I'm just using English, all right, because there's many flavors, as there are with many languages. But, right, so they would have like just, you know, British English, which of course there's a gazillion accents in the UK. Same in the US, right? You know, a Minnesota accent versus a South Carolina versus a New York versus a California. Very different sounds. Pronunciation of words are different. Inflections are different. And old transcription technologies were just, they were funny. They weren't good. And it was kind of like, yeah, it'll get there. You know, it's not quite even, you know, if you look at movies like The Fly, which is 1986, you know, he's saying all this complex stuff and it's all perfect. Even now, we're not even quite there. But 10 years ago, it was pretty much just like a you know, proof of concept. Now, this stuff is shockingly good, even with like proper nouns. And I see someone here just asked, where did it go? Someone just asked, yes, Sky Regan just asked, can it transcribe singing? Well, I'm going to try. I doubt it, at least not very well, but I'm going to try. I actually brought up a file to try it with. Let me get into this so I can start processing and I'll answer more of your questions, because I actually am going to do it live here. All right. So here's an example. And again, we're just doing this for real, so there's nothing pre-cooked here. This was from a recent Daily Creative Challenge. And this is just this was a piece of video that I shot for the challenge of like how to cut a channel trailer. So it's just a raw intro of me saying hello. I'm gonna cut this to make it a little shorter. Hi, I'm Jason Levine. I don't think I need 10 versions of me saying that. Hi, I'm Jason. All right, so here, let's just cut some of this out. Hold on. So not used to using Windows or a trackpad. I don't use trackpads as often as I once did. All right, I'm just going to cut some of this out just to try and shrink things up a little. And welcome to Just Play Music. On this channel, we're going to be featuring all different types of music. All right, so I'm just going to cut some of this out here. Just ripple that. I'm just shortening this up. I just want to have a little bit of variety in here. Just cut this, cut it right there. Just take this out. Okay, so this is approximately a minute. All right, so let me show you how this works. Now, first of all, when you download the beta of Premiere, there's an icon that you need to be aware of. It's up here and it's called What's New in Beta, all right? So when you click on this, this is gonna tell you, first of all changes that have been applied. It's also going to tell you, give you some instructions around, in particular with like captioning, what you need to do and how to enable it. And the instructions are actually right here. So to fully enable the feature, the captions and subtitling, we're going to use that too. Again, transcription is not part of that. That's separate. But you must select it from the beta menu under Enable Features. So I had a couple people asking me that. By the way, I have a YouTube video on this on my YouTube channel, Jason Levine Video, that gives this entire workflow. And I go through all the details and show you everything. But I didn't show you how to turn it on. So under the beta menu, up at the top here, again, this is new, Enable Feature, and you can see new captions workflow. All right, so you just have to enable that. It'll force you to save the project that you're in. It'll close the app, reopen, and then this new text panel will become available. All right, so you'll find the text panel under the window menu. Now I have to say, and I'm curious, and please chime in, please be vocal about this. I want this feedback so I can give it to the team. Initially, we called this the transcription and captions panel. All right, maybe that's a bit long. But now it's called the text panel. And that, to me, it just, I didn't even find it immediately in the list down here. Funny, it doesn't show that it's open. Because when I think text, I'm thinking of like typing text, and that's like Essential Graphics. So I don't know that I loved text for the name of the panel. Oh, sure, do your captions in the text panel. Is that weird? I'm not trying to be funny. I see people laughing. I mean, is that weird though? I'm asking. You know, this is beta, so now this is like how this stuff gets changed. If 100 people now say it sucks, then, or change it. Okay, thank you. Lindsay Palmer, text panel makes me think type. Yes, that's what I thought. So when I saw that in the menu, I knew that was it because I'm like, that wasn't there before and we didn't change anything in type. So I went there. If I don't already know that, I wouldn't open that panel looking for captions, right? So, Aunt Pruitt, nah, text equals no go. Okay. No, it's not weird. I'm losing it. Transcription from David. Oh, I love it. Thank you. This community freaking rocks. Say, don't be shy, and now no one's shy. Excellent. That's what we want. Perfect. All right. URA. Use the word copy like in ad agencies. Okay. Suggestion. Okay. Nice. Videograph. Reynos Darwich. Very good. Cornelia. Better. Captions. Okay. Vincent Maggio. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and go into transcript. Create transcription. Audio. Now, I talk about this in my video. All you have to do is choose the language. So again, at present, and by the time you get your hands on this, right now there's 7 languages in here. There's supposed to be 12 by the time it makes its way into your hands, or upon release, whenever that may be, and future languages to come soon thereafter. It'll also separate multiple speakers. This, I don't have any that I can use at the moment, but I'll try this on another stream. And then you click on transcribe, all right? And it's going to send it up to the cloud, analyze, and return the transcript, all right? So this is now actually doing it, all right? So I'm going to let this go. And I also let this go in my video as well, and talked my way through it on purpose to try and show you the process, okay? All right, Sky's got a lot. CC, TTF, yep, text to speech or simply caption, speech to text, yep. Very good. The problem with CC rather than caption is Creative Cloud is also CC. See, this is great. This is really awesome feedback. Thank you for that, Mallory. How about speech, Cal, like that? All right. Transcribe text. Yeah. Quinn Stevenson agrees. Yes, maybe weird. This is really great. I really appreciate this because again, these are the kind of things, this is, you know, this is how this stuff can effectively be changed, right? And the teams are watching, you know, sneaking in on the session. Yes. All right, perfect. Okay, so it's just about done. All right, I'm going to zoom back out here. Whoa. All right, wait for it. Textscription. Very good, Kyle. All right. Jürgen, will there be an extra fee for transcriptions? Aha, waiting for someone to ask that in real time. So Jürgen, here's what I can tell you. I don't know the specifics, and we haven't communicated that just yet. We haven't. Again, it's still in development. So here's what I can say safely. It is likely, as with other services, think stock and other things, that there will be some kind of, whether it's a charge or some kind of additional purchase for multiple transcriptions, etc. There's a good possibility that that is likely to happen once this gets released. And it makes sense, right? This is a lot of services running to do this, but I don't know for certain. So none of that. If you get into the program to try this out, you won't have to pay. It's built in there to allow you to do it. But it's very likely something like that will come about. I just don't know at the moment. Okay, so we're done. So let's check it out now, all right? So I'm going to wind it back. Now, by the way, you notice that as you scrub through it, so here's the amazing thing about this. First of all, this is a time-coded, word-for-word time-coded transcription of all the spoken dialogue. So literally, when we used to talk about now you can edit on an individual word, like you literally can. If I click on all right here, you can even see my I'm not a great face. Like it's literally every word precisely time coded. All right. All different types of styles, different genres. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. So let's go ahead. I'm going to wind back here. All right. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it, follow along a little bit, and let's play back and see how it did. It'll do the auto scroll here. Okay, here we go. Hi, I'm Jason, and welcome to my channel, Just Play Music. Hi, I'm Jason Levine, and welcome to... Okay, now I'm going to just stop for a minute. And it's interesting. I didn't really emphasize and. So, and welcome. I can't fault the transcript. Now, if there were slightly more advanced AI, I shouldn't say that. If there were a particular flavor of the AI that was focusing on, is that grammatically correct, and welcome, because that doesn't really make any sense, it might fix that. For my money, though, I can't blame the transcription algorithm for going, and welcome, because and welcome is not what I said, all right? And I'm usually really focused on like diction and pronunciation, so that's a strike off for me. To Just Play Music. On this channel, we're going to be featuring all different types of musical performances, musical instruction, and lots of different types of things that will just help you and your kids get truly engaged. Look at that. It even got my mess up there. On this channel, we're going to celebrate all things music. All different types of styles, different genres, everything played and performed, nothing generated, nothing sequenced. With the exception of the an in lieu of and, it's 100%. What do you even say to that? Holy crap. Apologies if I don't mean to say crap, but holy cows. Filled with excrement. I mean, my God, that's amazing. Right? Now, it's been a while. I know there's other services that do these things, but it's 100%. Because I'm not giving it any percentage off for the and. It's fair, all right? And then from here, the idea is that, and we'll get back into this, but I want to show you a version with music because we've got a couple more things. We've got 20 minutes to go. Now, at present, I can't edit this here in the transcript just yet. I will be able to. So it'll be like a simple double click, change the text, click away. It's not letting me do that right now. This is very, very early. It will eventually. It's just not right now. But what will happen right now, it's another great still frame, is if you click on Create Captions, okay, it will now build this brand new captions track, which you can see down below. Oh, you can't see it fully. Okay. So here's your new captions track. And as I show in my video, I know someone just asked, well, what if you have multiple, trying to translate for multiple languages, so you have multiple audio things? Yeah, you can add another track of captions. You can add multiple tracks, and then, you know, have it transcribed from another language. Also want to point out here, this is transcription, not translation, all right? So that drop down in the transcription menu, when I chose English, it's because it's transcribing what I spoke. If I choose Korean or Chinese, I don't know if Korean's in there yet, I'm not speaking Chinese, it's not going to do anything, all right? So it's transcription, not translation. Someone asked me on the YouTube channel, is it likely you guys will translate? That I don't know, but maybe, hopefully. I mean, again, if enough people request it, I'm imagining we'll figure that out. That's kind of my dream too, all right? More flavor. Nice. That was a signed up. Oh, awesome. Sweet, sweet. Okay. Ingrid Kaur, I need this. Okay, very nice. This is humongous, Marcos Ramirez. It won't speak my English to Chinese. Yes, no. So again, just really want to be clear about that. It's not doing translation, it's just doing transcription, okay? So cool, Christina. Thank you. All right. Very, very good. Okay. Yes, in French, la vache. Yes. Do the captions created get put into markers? That's a great question, Cal. At present, no, but you'll see what happens is it'll create these individual caption blocks or subtitle blocks. And then again, if you watch my video, you'll see you'll be able to edit and modify these just as you did before. So now what you would do is you go into the captions tab, right? So now the way, of course, now we're not looking at word by word anymore because each block contains, you know, a sentence theoretically. In this case, we've got one that just has a single word here. So we would probably fix that by placing just play music up here. Oh, whoops. Is this not letting me edit now? It did before. Okay, yeah, so it's not, again, in this current version, it's not letting me edit these now. If you go from an SRT file, it will, by the way. But in any case, once you have all of this, again, you can edit these blocks. And then, of course, you have all the stylization. Okay, now I'm gonna come back to this. I'm gonna leave this as it is because I want to try and do this with some music since you asked. And maybe I'll cut this down as well so it's not as long. So this is this little video that I recorded on social after day 1 of Max because people have been asking me to sing. Well, hello everyone, Jason Levine here. Sorry I wasn't able to sing for you this year at Max, so a lot of questions on Twitter about it. So just to show you, I get into some... Just an old-fashioned love song playing on the radio. Okay, so it'll be very interesting to see if this is going to work at all. Now, you know, by design, this really shouldn't. It really shouldn't work, but let's give it a try. So I'm going to do audio, English, 1 speaker, transcribe, and let's see what happens. Okay. All right, Carlos, will you be able to export the transcript as PDF or an SRT file? That is a great question. I believe that is on the list, certainly for SRT. And I see people are asking about SST for DVD authoring. Asaf Blasberg. I don't believe those things have been implemented just yet. Again, this is super early. This is really, when we say sign up for early access, this is early access. And part of the reason for all of that is that this is allowing you to give feedback, give suggestion, and get this feedback directly to the engineering team. And whereas in the past, if you were part of like pre-release and things, you know, we had the pre-release forums and the engineers would go to the forums frequently. But, you know, forums are a bit chaotic and it was just, I can't, if you ever did a pre-release thing, it was just a very different way to develop. Now that we have this public beta, so you'll notice up at the top here in Premiere, and this goes for all the betas, you got this little provide feedback button, okay? So if you click on this, all right, you'll see that you can report a bug, request a feature, or visit the community, and this will take you to the forum. So if you see a problem, you can tell them about it here. If you've got a feature request, i.e., I want to be able to create an SRT file from the transcript to use elsewhere on YouTube, blah, 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 this is where you do it. And actually, I'm curious if visit the community, that goes to the forum or Adobe Voice? Yeah, so this is going to the forum. Okay, yeah. So, and again, like if we were to do request a feature, that goes to user voice. Okay, so this takes you to the user voice section. So there may already be, I highly recommend searching, I love how it's like enter your idea, I highly recommend searching to see if your feature request has already been requested, at which point you vote it up. So you can see here like this one, some eyedroppers do not work properly when color management is enabled. Got 346 votes on this, and this one is not very old. So you vote on it. And the more votes these things get, the faster and the higher priority, of course, the engineers are going to look at those and go, okay, we need to tackle this or whatever. So that's really a great way to get a lot of these things implemented. Oh my God, and it's already done. I've been talking, rambling. Look, the transcription is done. So let's see how it did. All right. So I'm guessing this whole thing in the beginning is good. Let's see. Well, hello everyone, Jason Levine here. Sorry I wasn't able to sing for you this year at Max. Saw a lot of questions on Twitter about it. Just doesn't feel like a Max without me doing that. It was very inspiring. Thank you so much for that. So I thought, hey, why not just sing you a song now that I've just finished my live hosting bit? I don't really do covers anymore, but this is one that I plan on releasing maybe before the end of the year. It's an old song, old-fashioned love song. Okay, once again, out of all of that, I said, it's an old song. I got a little nasally right there because I'm in the desert and it's still 100 degrees and allergies are wacky right now. It's an old song. So I blame me for that. This is 100%. I just distorted my own mic. Speechless. Siri doesn't get it that right. Sometimes, no, never, not for me. And I speak for a living. I know how to be clear. This is kind of amazing. So now let's get into the music. And you can see right now, let's see it, just an old, just now, fashion love song, Glenn on the radio. All right. I'm very curious. Just an old-fashioned love song playing on the radio, and wrapped around the music is the sound of someone promising they'll never go. And wrapped around the music is the sound of someone promising they... It didn't know what to do with that. Come on! What? This is recorded on the iPhone sitting on my piano. Friends? Like, freaking, what? Excuse me. You've heard it before as it slowly rambles on. No need in bringing them back, 'cause they've never really gone. Okay. It missed the you swear you've heard it before as it slowly rambles. I kind of said rambles on. Again, singing, I'm making all these things legato. Rambles on. It doesn't know that that's a word. So it got rambles. No need, oh no mean, in bringing them back, bringing them. So bringing him back. Okay. They've never really gone. It got that. I mean, what? That's craziness. Craziness. Christina, wow. Cal, interesting. Joseph, speechless. Marcos, oldie but a goodie. Yes. Little Chuck Negron right there. One of my all-time favorites, Umacorn. All right. Thank you, Betul. Christina, thank you. Okay. Anyway, it's pretty spectacular. Okay? And then the idea around this is creating the captions. So let's just go to the spoken parts here. All right. Talking about stylization here. So when you go into the Essential Graphics panel now, this is where, first of all, you can choose, we're going to have different default master styles. So this will push across the entire set of things you've done. So, you know, if we do something like this, white default. Now, a couple people have asked, you've got this background box. How do you modify that? So again, I'm watching last night, and I noticed this one's got a bit of opacity, but most of them are just like solid black. So down under the appearance panel here, it's just using, again, you can use all the things in Essential Graphics to stylize these subtitles and captions. Any font you want, any color, any fill, any stroke, any background. So if I want a solid, completely opaque, oh God, I just hate the window zoom with a capital H. I really do, and I don't like this trackpad either. Freaking frack. If I want a solid, black bounding box there. Just doesn't feel like a Max without me doing that. It was very inspiring. Okay. And now for some reason, now it's doing it individually instead of globally. Again, this stuff will likely change as you get to it. Let's go into this percentage here. There we go. So now they're all solid. Now that I've just finished my live hosting bit, I don't really do covers anymore, but this is one that I plan on releasing maybe before the end of the year. It's an old SOG. It's an old SOG. See, it's SOG. I don't even know what a SOG is, but I have to give it to them. So yes, so Ant, my friend with the drawl, I highly recommend. If it just got, it definitely got about 65% of my singing, which is kind of amazing. If not a little bit more, try it. It's been shockingly good. Now, one of the things that currently, like, you're not seeing, it's not breaking out Australian English. You know, it's not doing like, you know, French Canadian versus France French. You know, it's not separate. You see this a lot in different transcription and engines. We don't have that selection in here just yet, so I don't know. Give it a try. I've been amazingly impressed, all right? And the other thing about this too here, just to point out, this is one of the things that I just love, because, you know, captions and subtitles, they're better than they used to be. But I've never really loved the font choices. So, you know, again, using whatever font you want. What's the one that I like so much? Oh, Cool Vetica. I love Cool Vetica. I keep missing it. It's because this trackpad is maddening. And you can again, you know, adjust size. Just live right on screen here. All right. You can adjust positioning real easily. Place them wherever you want. All right. So this is just fabulous. It's just great. And when you've done that, and now you want to export this quickly to see how those captions are going to look. Now this is, again, a beta feature. This will be coming to the release version soon. Many of you will know this from Rush, actually. We now will have this feature in Premiere called Quick Export. You'll find it under this new share icon. All right? You can see it right there. So if you go to Quick Export, that, I mean, there's no magic to it. It's exactly what, oh God. It's exactly what you think it would be. So this is going to be a super fast H.264 export. GPU accelerated, super fast. You've got 3 match source options here, low, medium, and high. I'm gonna throw this thing out the window. And then 480p, 720p, 1080, and 4K. All right. So let's do a 1080 while we're at it. Whoops. I don't know how I just clicked away from that. I don't think it could have exported. Let's do a 1080. And hold on, I'm gonna zoom out. And where's this going? I want to put this on the desktop. Okay. And, oh, hold on, let me change the name of this. With caption. Oh, God. Can't type. Export. Now this is 1.5 minutes. Boom. Done. How about that? And now if we go ahead and open that up, let's go to the desktop with captions. I'm praying that they're in there. Let's just put this in a new sequence.
Well, hello everyone.
And there you are.
Levine here. Sorry I wasn't able to sing for you this year at Max, so a lot of questions on...
All right. So super fast export with quick export, living up to its name. All right. Definitely worth checking out. Check out the new captions and subtitling workflow in the public beta. Sign up for early access to the transcription stuff. Oh, and as promised, because we're almost out of time, I happen to have the early access link. I'm gonna copy that. Let me go ahead and post that into the Behance chat. Hold on. All right. There we go. Captions and subtitling workflow in the public beta. Sign up for... Okay, sorry. I'm gonna feedback on myself. All right, so here's that. There you go. All right, so I just stuck that in the Behance chat. Yeah, Ben, no, I am using the Windows magnifier for this, you know. Yeah, I always use, and I use the accessibility zoom on the Mac, and it's just, the Windows one is just, it's just a little wonky. There's nothing against Windows. It's just a little wonkier. The Mac one just, I don't know, it just works better for me. Isaf Blasberg, what is the criteria for Adobe accepting you? Being a good human? I don't really know. I don't know. I imagine there's some questions and things that are going to ask about the type of work you're doing and why you use captions or how, you know. So I don't know. I know there's the reason they're keeping it to a smaller access-only group is so that we can really get some very detailed feedback on use cases. So in particular, if you've got something fairly unique, like I know I've seen already in another build, like we have Hindi in there. I believe we do have Korean, Japanese, simplified Chinese. You know, again, particularly in non-English languages that are supported, they're probably going to be looking for quite a few people to test those and give us feedback on those workflows and for accuracy and things. So I don't know the exact criteria, but please sign up and try. All right. Could you please, Juan Carlos is asking why it's so important for closed caption for accessibility for people that are hearing impaired. Yeah, I mean, I can't emphasize it enough. There's two main reasons, right? So one, right, accessibility for hearing impaired. You just want your content to be accessible to everyone, right? So yes. And outside of even hearing impaired, when you think about how most things are accessed, like in a Facebook feed or on Twitter, you know, half the time as you're scrolling through video that's auto playing, if captions aren't turned on, you don't know what's being said. And if it's not something that visually grabs you instantaneously, you're probably not going to stop and look. Whereas if you can see that it's like, okay, today I'm going to show you this amazing new technology that solves world hunger. If you saw that, you'd be like, oh, damn, and you'd click into it, right? So it's first and foremost just to make it more accessible to, you know, people who don't speak your language natively, or maybe they do, but it's not, or they speak your language, but it's not native, or blah, blah, blah. There's all these possibilities why this makes it just makes it more available to people to get your content. But also, again, because of the way things are accessed, it keeps people aware of what's happening, all right? So cool. All right, unfortunately, friends, gosh, we are out of time. It just flies by. So I'm going to revisit some of the things in After Effects later next week. We've also got a pretty cool stream about some of the optimizations we've done for speed and performance in Premiere. We're going to be bringing on some guests from one of our storage partners. This will be on the Adobe Video Facebook page as well as on my YouTube. So until then, have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. I believe we've got Howard coming up next with his XD Masterclass. So stick around for that. Just checking out the rest of the comments here before my final minute is up. Mallory, yeah, I can't watch anything on Netflix or TV without it. I mean, that's so true. I never used to have them on. They're on all the time now. And a lot of time they're on because I keep it muted. So it's just so important. It's so important to have them. All right? Language learning is even, right. Sometimes I actually change it to a different language so I can read them in Spanish to improve my Spanish. I studied French and then moved to Arizona. You know, I should have studied Spanish. All right, friends, have a good one. Howard is up next. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.